All right, we're going to get into the Zurich Classic. It's obviously different. This is the only team event, official PGA Tour event of the season. Two-man teams is the format this week, and it's a rotation. There's still 4 rounds, but it's a rotation of better ball and alternate shot. So on Thursday and Saturday, the teams are going to play better ball, so they each play their own ball, and the better score of the whole wins. This is where you're going to see some very low scores. You see guys break under 60, and then on Friday and the final round Sunday is when you're going alternate shot. A lot more difficult in that scenario. Usually you're not nearly as far under par, but that is the breakdown of how this tournament works this week. You can look at the odds board to get an idea of who's kind of the favorites, obviously, for the week. And I'm going to kind of roll into the top 10 strokes gained on that note, because these guys, as you expect, Schauffele and Cantlay lead the way as far as your favorites on the odds board. They are also right here, number one in the combined top 10 strokes gained over the previous 12. So what I did this week is both numbers over the previous 12 months, combine them together to get you the numbers you see on the screen. Obviously, it's very top heavy here. We have Schauffele and Cantlay right at the top. The only combo that is paired with 2 top 10 players. Next, you got McIlroy, Lowry, Morikawa, Kitayama, Theegala, and Zalatoris. And even at that point already, you've dropped off quite a bit, as you can see by the numbers. And so this is going to be a tournament that, although it's top heavy at the top, because of the weird format, because of the pairing situation, anything can happen. I mean, guys can go low. It doesn't necessarily mean the cream of the crop is going to rise to the top. And you can see that looking at some of the past results. But a couple notes on here is at the very bottom here, number 10, Hoge and McNealy. One of the hottest pairs coming into this over the shorter term, over the last 6 months, and especially over the last 3 months. And you're getting pretty good value on them as well, which will segue perfectly into our first outright selection. I really like this pair this week. Hoge, he just doesn't get any love. He's quietly one of the best iron players in the world. He's gained strokes on approach in every event this season. He ranks first in strokes gained approach over the last 6 months by a wide margin, actually, over Corey Connors, who sits in second. He's also been riding a hot putter and gained strokes in 9 of his last 10 starts, and he's finished in the top 20 in 7 of his last 10. So clearly Hoge's playing very, very well. McNealy, he missed 5 months last season due to injury, so he's kind of on the comeback tour, but he returned in the late fall, and he's been getting better ever since, with 3 top 20 finishes in his last 6 starts. His skill set complements Hoge very nicely. He's much longer off the tee, and he has a fantastic short game. Those are the exact 2 areas that Hoge tends to fall short. So in an alternate shot format, those 2 will complement each other very, very well. Hoge finished top 15 here last year with Harris English and Theegala, so he's kind of familiar with this team's event, so I do like him for that reason. And I do think at 28-1, one of the hottest pairs coming in, I think they can make some noise and at least give us a chance late on Sunday to cash that outright ticket. One other team I'm looking at, slightly different market. I don't know if they'll have enough quite to win, but Nick Taylor, Adam Hadwin, the Canadian duo, I think is going to be a very good combo to at least get on that first page of the leaderboard. So I'm looking at a top 10. You can get better than 2-1 on your money with them, plus 230 right now. Full honesty, I like both pairs of Canadians. Corey Connors and Taylor Pendrith is the other one, but I really like these guys this week. Taylor, he's won twice since last year's edition of this tournament, and Hadwin, he's kind of been feast or famine. But in this type of a format, that can be perfect because you don't have to be perfectly on all the time. That's why you have a partner. Hadwin has 3 missed cuts this year, but he also has 3 top 6 finishes. When he is contending, it's because he's got a red-hot putter, which, of course, in this type of event is going to be needed because you're going to have to make a lot of birdies. The winning score usually pushes into the mid-20 under par range. Taylor, meanwhile, he's been fantastic with his irons. He's gained strokes on approach in 10 of his last 11 starts this year, while the pair ranks number 6 in this field in combined total strokes gained over the previous 12 months. These 2 teamed up last year for the first time. They finished solo second, so they were very, very close. They had a final round 63 in alternate shot, which is very, very impressive. They could contend to win again this year. I don't necessarily know if they're going to be able to cross the finish line and get the outright win, but between them and Hoge McNealy, I think both are going to give us a pretty good run for their money. So you can interchange them and play a little bit of leaderboard or outright on either one of those 2 selections for this week. That's the breakdown, guys, for this week for the Zurich Classic. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Enjoy the tournament this week. Good luck with your wagers, and we'll see you guys again next week for another episode of Tee Time.